Hello and welcome to another episode of the Godfather Minute. My name is Alex Robinson.
My name is Andy Robinson.
Together we make up collectively the Godfather Minute Brothers. Here to talk about Minute 9. Minuto numero 9.
9.
Oh.
9. Mach schnell 9.
What is it?
It is nove.
Nove.
Yeah.
Like new.
Like new.
Because 9 was the newest number that was invented at the time.
Exactly.
So they called it 9. Because it's,
and then they originally called 10 La Nove Nove. The new 9.
Then it just got like,
where does it?
Then they go back to the new originals, but
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
by the way, you just reminded me to ask later after you give the summary and we talk about all our stuff. I will have a good what if. I'll save it.
Okay,
I'm going to save it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me summarize minute 9.
Can you do it in German?
In German, das Schweinhund und mighty Muscheloo. I cannot do it in German. I can't even do it in fake German. The mighty Muscheloo continues to pull into New York Harbor under the suspicious glare of the Statue of Liberty. Once on Ellis Island, Vito Andolini is examined by an immigration official who directs him to see the nurse. That's it.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, imagine going there when you're a kid, like by yourself. It must be crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when it doesn't speak. Like how did they, I guess they just trusted the donkey family. Just put him on the thing, and he's just like, oh well, I'm going wherever they sent me.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if he had a little bit more help than Coppola's letting on. On the ship, you see immigrants. I imagine everyone from that ship is from Sicily.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
Not like making station stops in Greece, station stops in Balboa, Spain.
Oh, you get the express train. It goes get the express bus. It goes all the boat. It goes all the way to China. It totally passes by the United States. Then you got to get into China. You got to go backtrack. Oh my god,
that's such a New York joke because we've all been on that train.
Yeah, nothing worse.
What would it be worse to get on the express bus accidentally? It goes all the way to China, and then you got to go backwards.
Yeah.
On a series of local boats, or to just take local straight from the beginning.
I guess, yeah, really. It's the luck of the draw. Well, here's something. So, Ellis Island. Have you ever been to Ellis Island?
I have.
Did we discuss this already?
You know, we talked about it, but I don't remember if we talked about it on air.
Okay.
I went there, but not inside.
Not as an immigrant.
Not as an immigrant. I went to the island. My wife and I took the ferry there and just kind of walked around and looked at the Statue of Liberty. But we didn't go inside the hall itself where you can explore the immigration history.
Because I thought I remember in our lifetime, like when we were in high school or something, or around the time when we were, is when Ellis Island kind of opened up as a tourist. It had been rented because for a long time it was just kind of closed and abandoned, or left derelict, and then they opened it up as like an immigration museum. So
it was relatively recently.
Yeah. I didn't know if we went there maybe on a school trip or.
I don't think I know.
Like
we never went.
Okay, yeah, I didn't either.
I would love to go though. It'd be fascinating.
I don't want to go as immigrants there.
Just a whole. It's one of my questions. Is
what's that?
It kind of in the minute you see these immigration employees interacting with all these people, and the people are dressed from all over the world,
exotic local fashions.
There's a man, I'm guessing from Africa, and I said, wow, it looks like such a cool job.
Yeah,
but why is that at least look cool or interesting? But what you're seeing on the news now at like the other immigration jobs don't seem so pleasant.
Well, probably first of all, it probably wasn't a good job.
Yeah.
They were probably just one thing you learn when you read the history of the United States, we have always hated immigrants.
Yeah.
We're a nation of immigrants that hates the next wave of immigrants that comes in. Mm-hmm. So, but maybe just because you're seeing people with a lot of different local Like, it looks like the guy standing behind Vito I think he's a Polish guy. Because he has that pink kind of skin, and he was wearing the colors, that white and blue. Oh no, red and white are Polish. Never mind, scratch that. He must be like Norwegian or something.
Yeah.
But because nowadays everyone, no matter what country, everyone dresses in clothes that are mass produced in China now anyway. So it's not as fun.
Yeah.
It's not as colorful.
Yeah.
Exotic.
It definitely has changed.
But again, it probably was not fun for them. They were probably, it was just like a job, and so.
Have you been to Ellis Island?
No, I never have.
Not even on the island to walk around and go to the Statue of Liberty?
I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. I've never been to Ellis Island. Neither of one of those.
Oh, there's just a little bit of pride in your voice.
Well,
don't be a escuchament.
As we discussed last week, if you live in New York City, those are things you generally don't do unless you have tourists who are in town.
Yeah.
So now I look forward as a tourist going to New York City and making some native New Yorker take me to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. So
that would be
my right as an American to do that.
Yeah. As is your right. You're also. My client's also going to be visiting the Godfather compound in Staten Island and other. Actually, it should be non-corrupt locations. Also going to be visiting the Theodore Roosevelt Museum and the Empire State Building. I think that's great that you live there. You're from there. But now you have to go back and subject your friends to taking you to those places.
Yeah, I don't know how to get there. I don't know where anything is. I don't get mugged.
I'll give you a suggestion. Don't take the express bus.
Okay. Unless you want to go all the way to China.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that boat that was stuck in the canal this past week?
Yeah, crazy.
Could be worse. Could be stuck on that that boat.
Oh, my gosh.
So here's something. I looked up immigration information. Information immigration.
Immigration, that needs its own, not sound effect, but jingle almost.
A theme song?
Immigration. It's information about immigration.
Should be all different languages, too.
Oh, and genres, too.
Between 1900 and 1915,
80,000.
80,000 immigrants?
I'm just throwing out a number. I don't even know what you're going to ask.
You're way, way off.
Okay.
15 million immigrants came to the United States.
Whoa, what years?
Between 1900 and 1915.
Wow.
That was as many as the past 40 years, combined.
40 years prior to
1900. So
1860
was just as much as 1900 to 1950.
Whole lot of immigrants sent it.
Yeah. In the year 2000, how many immigrants do you think came to the United States? I assume this is legal immigration because I don't know how they keep track of illegal immigrants. Because nowadays you hear, it's too many immigrants. But
factoring in the pandemic and also
this is the year 2000. So
2000,
pre-pandemic,
2020. Yeah.
It's like 100 years later, roughly.
Yeah. I'm gonna say. And not just temporary with visas. You're talking
people who are immigrating to the United States.
Relocation.
Yeah.
You're talking about relocation immigration information. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is
I'm
correct.
going to say...
So 15 million between 1900 and 1915.
I'm going to say 900,000. I have no idea. I'm going to say a million. Cool.
You know
million.
what's I wrote down this number is too big for it to just be 1 year, so I think.
Okay.
Oh, you know what I think this is? I think this is the number of immigrants living in the United States.
Oh, okay.
So let's look at it that way. That would be.
I don't mean to get all technical and nerd out, but what's an immigrant?
I don't have specific information. I'm going to guess
people who
someone
are still no longer citizens.
Someone born outside the United States who moved to the United. Maybe they're not citizens yet, but they are born somewhere else.
What is our population now? 385-ish,
something like that.
Something like that. So I'm going to say 3.5 million. I'm going to say 10%.
28 million.
Oh,
that would actually be closer to 10%.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So.
I definitely went to college to get stupid.
In 1910, 3/4 of the residents of New York City were either immigrants or first-generation Americans.
Wow!
So it really must have been
a melting pot.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest city, the main cities that those immigrants came from: Naples, Bremen. I don't know where that is. You know where Bremen is?
No.
Liverpool and Hamburg. So those were the cities, and
Wow. That surprises me. I would not have thought of England.
yeah, go
Wow.
figure.
I wonder what was going on in England at that time to inspire so many folks to immigrate.
Well, I'm not sure how many of them are actually from England or whether they were just like Liverpool was their last stop.
Station stop, Liverpool.
Hey, Liverpool. And what's all the more amazing is that when you think about the populations of the countries, for instance, between 1820 and 1920, 5.5 million Germans came to the United States. And Germany had a population of 56 million people. So that's basically 10% of the entire population came to a different country. And that's pretty much true for like Italy. It was a little less than 10% of the population.
Wow.
It's really, I guess nowadays you always just think of it as like Spanish speaking countries.
Yeah.
It's here in America because that's, seems like we're...
I mean, there are always going to be people moving, relocating, but do you think like overall it's settled to where it's going to be before the world gets destroyed?
No. Well,
I'm talking about mass change like that, like 10% of a country's population going somewhere else.
I think that will happen.
It'll continue to happen.
Well, I think because of, global political issues and between climate change, like, obviously, in Europe, they were having a big thing with a lot of people from the Middle East, Syrian immigrants and stuff like that. Because there's always going to be wars, and especially as climate change kicks in and things are, some countries are going to be a lot more radical, and mostly poor countries are going to be radically affected by it, and those people are going to have to go somewhere, So,
yeah. I just wonder, as now that we are more, I don't want to say advanced, because whatever that means, but it just seems like things, like for example, it seems like it would be unlikely that there's going to be a war over borders. In other words, like a significant border war. Our country's fighting this country over like a huge area of land. To me, that does not seem likely because everyone's armed and systems are in place. There's so many things in check to prevent that. So I'm just wondering if once again we will see massive amounts of immigration. I understand global or climate change is going to affect all of that, but it would also surprise me that it would be permitted to take place.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother, that's for some people saying that's really why they want to build the Mexican wall, is not necessarily to stop immigrants now, but maybe not now, but maybe 10 years from now when things are much more serious and there's literally caravans of waves of immigrants. So,
Well, interesting. It just seems like back then it was much easier to, you could probably get into America as soon as you got here, you could just do what you could go west or settle in a city.
I think that's true to some extent, but I also think there was that wasn't true if you were Chinese. Like there were specific rules put in place to say, okay, no more Chinese immigrants or no more immigrants from the East. We want to favor immigrants from, Northern Europe, not so much Southern European or other kind of. So there's always going to be some groups that are more favored. Like I imagine at this point, if you're a British person, I would have to guess it's easier to come to America than if you're a Guatemalan person. Just because of,
racism.
Yeah. Because that's one way to put it.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
In 1900, 8% of the immigrants were under 15 years old.
Oh.
I guess it doesn't say how many of them were traveling alone, like Vito. But,
women and children can afford to travel alone, not men.
I don't remember if we brought this up before, but here's a question for you, my brother. If you had to emigrate, where would you go? Who is the real Andy Robinson?
Who is the real
Andy
Robinson?
And everything's worked out with visas. I get a job and all that stuff.
I don't know. You get to be more specific.
I do like to ski. And I love Latin America.
What's it called where you get kicked out of the country? Deported. That's what
Yeah.
Picture you're being deported.
I mean, deported.
Yeah.
Even though I'm just going back to vote in the election, they didn't send me my absentee ballot.
That's correct. Right.
I'm going to pull a Hyman Roth on you. I'm going to Cuba.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Israel.
I'm going to Cuba, papi.
So you are in the fortunate position of being able to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So does that influence your decision?
Yeah, well, maybe that's why I just always loved Latin America,
Right.
and I've always been attracted to it.
Why Cuba?
No, I take it back. I wouldn't go to Cuba. I would go.
I already wrote it down, so now you got to go.
I got to go there for the next 10 years. I think I would go place maybe like Chile, where they have coasts, but they also have mountains for ski. I love mountains. I love the beach, but I prefer mountains.
So no, what about like Switzerland or something?
Yeah, but I think, isn't Switzerland cold most of the year or mountainous?
Yes, it is pretty
Maybe,
much all
but
mountainous,
I do like Latin America. I love the culture. Yeah, I'm picking Chile.
Chile.
Yeah.
It's kind of cold there, though, isn't it?
That's what I like about it, Chile. So lock me in with Chile.
Okay.
And how about you?
Oh boy, I didn't think you were going to ask me. Well, as I don't speak any foreign language. Although I do think if I went somewhere, whenever I do go somewhere, and I feel like I could pick it up not quickly, but
Yeah.
I feel like you can pick it up faster living somewhere.
Yeah.
Than
Yeah.
I
I mean, I know one of you're very proud. One of your claims to
so I
fame.
only speak English.
One of your claims to fame is you know how to say Luke Skywalker in 80 languages.
I thought you were going to say my claim to fame is I can count to 172 in Italian. Except for 9.
So what do you think? I know New Zealand. I think you enjoyed your time there.
That's true. That is a good one. Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe New Zealand, because they also have a wide variety of, as Lord of the Rings showed us, they have a wide variety of biomes there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tempting to say somewhere like Canada or something, just because it's close and they speak English, and it's like America light.
Yeah.
But no, I'll go New Zealand.
Okay.
Thanks for
Going down under, mate.
down under.
It's so funny when you just said, what's great about what we learned from Lord of the Rings, that there are many biomes there.
Yeah.
I for a second I thought you were referring to Middle Earth. Like what we learned from Lord of the Rings is there's Hobbiton, there's
live in the Shire.
Easterlands, there's Rivendell.
Yeah. Somewhere by the Misty Mountains, I'm going to get my.
Although you probably only be able to afford to live in Mordor with those
Oh!
skyrocketing rents.
Not any Mordor. Wait, did you just make a joke about rents?
Rents.
Rent.
Rents being high in Middle Earth.
Yeah, because I would have to rent it because I can't afford to Corleone it.
I did not set you up for that.
I
I did. I didn't mean to.
Right, yeah, sure. Yeah.
You probably talked about on Star Wars, what planet and city would you want to live in and on?
Yeah, that's so weird. I was recording earlier today. That very subject came up.
What?
Yeah, totally.
Get out of here.
I swear. Because someone was saying they would want someplace they would want to live, and I was like, oh, that's so weird.
Wow, very cool. I could see you pulling like the graveyard shift at the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to live. I'd want to live somewhere where it was. I might get not that it doesn't matter on this show, but we could say what Godfather environment? Where would you want to live of all the places they show in the Godfather?
Oh yeah. So far,
well, we can expand it.
Yeah.
I
have another what if too.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What else you got?
Well, the only specific note I had for this minute was where you see Vito. You see him getting his eye examined by the immigration officer.
And someone else too is getting their eye examined.
Yeah. I guess that's one of the stations they went through. And two things that stood out to me, I guess living in the age which we now live in, is the guy's using the same instrument to poke into everyone's eyes.
Yeah. No gloves. Was he wearing gloves?
I don't remember specifically. I'm gonna say no. But so if he had pink eye or whatever it was, then he's just kind of giving it to every next person in the line. And similarly, there's a kind of rag hanging there.
Oh, yeah.
And you see someone in the next stall wipe their eyes because I guess people's eyes might tear up from being poked with a dirty stick. But
The infamous rag.
yeah,
The Ellis Island rag.
so nowadays, when everyone's wearing masks and we're so paranoid, it's just so funny to see how people were tougher back then and died a lot younger.
Yeah, were they tougher? What's great about that pink eye, not only is he giving it to everybody, but everyone who comes in doesn't have it, but immediately he touches their eye and says, oh, this one needs to see the nurse. And then the next one, oh, this one needs to see the nurse. And then
Boy, the last 100 guys all got pink eye. So it's so funny. I mean, it's so funny to me because like people back then obviously didn't know any better.
Yeah.
But like, what things now are we doing that?
Yeah.
I guess even now you can look back like 2 years ago and be like, oh my God, people used to just like,
Like not wear a mask. Was sitting in the same room. They used to podcast in the same room with no masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you take it to its extreme. It could be no physical contact. And
water fountains were invented for that reason. Because
for what reason?
For germ reasons. Because first of all, people used to not have clean drinking water, and then some people were like, you know what? People need to have clean drinking water. Let's put a little fountain in every neighborhood, and there'll be a little cup there, so people, when they want to drink water, they can get a cup of water and drink the water. And that was what they had for a long time. And then people were like, well, wait a minute. So like that kind of a thing. Like, what are we doing now that will be like, ugh. Yeah.
I'm guessing the way food is raised is going to be a big one in the future.
Like factory farms.
Yeah, factory farms and the use of all the chemicals and
antibiotics and stuff like
all
that.
That stuff's probably like, oh my gosh, all the crap that they put in their food.
And also, I guess like pesticides and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess some people are going to say like GMOs might be the thing.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna bet the other way. I'm gonna say eventually, like everything is gonna be GMO'd, and we're like, I can't believe we used to just eat food out of the ground.
Yeah,
like, worms and bugs all over me. Yeah. Get about it. I want my food raised in a pristine, laboratory.
And then in the future, when everything is GMO and good. For that reason, the Onion article at the time will say, GMO no.
Why the Onion article?
Because GMO is good in the future.
Because they're genetically modified onions. Is that what you mean?
I didn't mean it that way.
Even the onion will be genetically modified.
Oh, so you're saying the publication will be genetically modified?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So anyway.
Well, I got a what if, and I also have a few over at the nightclub items.
Oh yeah. Well, so anything else specific to this?
Not really.
Nothing from the book. They don't talk about him having.
No, still nothing in the book.
Okay.
About Ellis Island.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Not that I've read.
What else you got then?
Well, I've got a what if.
Oh, before that, do we want anything we want to plug before we get to the cutoff point?
Great idea. I've got some new tunes coming out from my band, Alex. The Underdog Night Soldiers. Mm-hmm. Check them out. Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, all those platforms.
Well, speaking of which, speaking of music, this movie so far has been very low on countdown songs.
I know.
What's going on here?
Well, let's pick one. Let's do it. I need to be challenged.
Why don't we count down to is it too late to do the arrival? Because now I feel like we're almost at the end of the Sicily part of the. We're about to go to Lake Tahoe, so if I'm gonna be like, why don't we do a countdown to Lake Tahoe?
But that's
gonna be like in a minute.
Yeah, that's like next week.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe something at the.
How about Pop Goes the Weasel?
Pop Goes the Weasel.
That's a bit. It has A, does the word pop in it. That's the way Pop wants it. And B, it's a Frankie Five Angels thing, and it's already a musical thing. You already have the tune to it right there. It's right in front.
Oh, so use that music.
Grab it.
So you're saying to use that music and...
Well, at least part of it.
Yeah.
You can't copyright if you just use Pop Goes the Weasel, but if you...
Well, why not? It's probably public domain by now, right?
That's what I'm saying. So you can't take something in public domain and copyright it.
Oh, no, I wouldn't copyright it. I would just cover it.
Oh, you do.
Is it called
Pop Goes? Okay, there you go. That's your goal. A cover of Pop Goes the Weasel.
Wait, is it called a cover if it's public domain?
I assume so.
Because it still does have a writer, technically. You're covering that original writer's song.
Right.
It's just that you're legally allowed to do it.
The writer is like, it's traditional.
By the way, that guy's written a ton of
Oh
tunes.
my god, him and Anonymous rolling in dough.
I don't know. That's coming up kind of fast too.
No, that's you
Pop
still got
Goes the
because you still
Weasel.
have all of you have to introduce Frankie Five Angels, and that
Yeah.
doesn't, and then the Pop Goes the Weasel happens.
Oh,
later.
that's after the Hose minute.
Yeah, that's after
Okay,
because
yeah.
we already
Okay.
know Frankie by that point.
Okay,
I think
that
this is
sounds
even
good.
after Senator Geary.
Well, that's good because then I can incorporate some other Frankie Five dialogue into it.
we need a Frankie Five song. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's your assignment. Should you
Okay.
choose to
Frankie
accept.
Five Weasels.
Frankie Five Weasels?
Hey, Frankie Weasels.
Ask your Italian scholar how to say five weasels in Italian.
Five Weasels. Okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe I will.
All right, now that we're done plugging the Underdog Night Soldiers.
Yeah, check it out. I got a lot of good original songs coming out. And by the way, I'm still in the process of getting all the GF1 songs remixed and mastered professionally.
Thank
and so we'll be
God.
releasing those.
Yes.
We already have Don't You Talk to a Man Like Mo Green Like That. And we also have Not Even for Old Time's Sake. Oh,
true.
that seems so long ago. Tessio asking Tom for a favor.
Oh, that reminds me of the old days.
Anything you want to plug?
No.
Okay. So I got a what if.
What if?
What if?
Do we have a what if theme yet?
No. You can't throw two musical projects at me at once.
I thought I gave you the what if theme a
you
couple of
did.
weeks
You
ago.
did.
All right. I know I'm being a bit of a slave driver here, but
Hey, listen, you can't walk right up. You can't walk right up to me and lay two new songs on me, and bam, you get musical notes all over your head.
I know your voice is weak.
What if Godfather 2, the entire movie, were
Was a dream.
done in German?
German?
Yeah,
No, why in German?
because you made a joke about nine.
Oh boy, we sure are funny, aren't we? Well, we do have some more great stuff coming up, including we do the Ripley's Believe It or Not. We do we actually bring back some old features like the musical, some products, and also historical figures. Make it a long
Political
appearance.
cartoons.
Political cartoons. We got all sorts of stuff. So if you want to hear that, go to godfatherminute.com/support. It's just $1 a show, and you get twice as much content. Right? Isn't that kind of what we figured?
No!